Hello everyone and welcome to the round 23 review. Just one round to go, thank God. Alright, so starting off with the vice captain. We picked Jack Sinclair. He didn't score enough. So yeah, that wasn't the worst call of the night. I think the worst call of that night, it was... Let me read here. No St Kilda ruck. No St Kilda ruck. No St Kilda ruck. No Mason. No St Kilda ruck. No, Mason. Don't do it, Mason. No, stop that, Mr. Mason. No! Dramatisation may not have happened. Yeah, but in seriousness, no St Kilda ruck, no St Kilda ruck. St Mason Wood goes up in the ruck. Oh, play on. Anyway, that's all fine. Anyway, enough of that. So with the captain, we didn't take the Jack Sinclair. I think he scored, 95 at the top of my head. And we took Bont as the captain, and he scored a 148. So that was pretty good. Brings our average captain score up to 134.9. Okay, so let's see how we did before we go into the team. What are we looking like ranking-wise? We scored 2,434, which, another not great. Top 25% for the round. And we've gone down 1,544 spots. So, 12,112. Not very good. Not good at all. All right, so let's have a look at what we did here. Max Holmes, 83, tagged by James Jordan. Because of course he was. Whitfield, 111, good. Jordan Clark, 102, yep, fine. Mills, 106, yep, fine. Zorko, 127. Biggest score I think he's had for a little while. Used a loop for Campbell Gray with Taru, 35. So you think with a 35, you think that score wouldn't have counted, but it did. We've got Montempelli with a 148, very nice. Dacos, 133, very nice. Sheezel with 54 touches with a 185. Beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss. Sinclair, 95, like we said before. Probably expected higher against Essendon. Butters with a 125, very good. Rosie, 75, not so good. McCarthy, 77, who we had to field. 102. Sorry, I keep saying that every week. 99k rookie. Can't expect much more. He's actually the highest scoring, highest averaging West Coast player. Yeah. Hugh Boxall, 53. We had to take that because we got Merritt and Chera both out. Johnson didn't play. So, yeah. Burning those trades has really come back to bite me. Max Gawn, 145. Nice. Tim English, 132. Also nice. Bailey Smith, 131. Everyone has him. Sean Darcy, 83. Thought he might have kicked a few more against West Coast, but 83 is still decent, I guess. Rankin with an 86. Now, he kicked a couple of goals and he got fined for staging. But he's got North Melbourne this week, so we probably expect him to have a good week. Oh wait, what? What the hell is this? AFL investigating Isaac Rankin over incident in Pies clash. Potential homophobic slur. What are you doing, Isaac? Bloody hell. Alright, well, that could be season over. Well, definitely over for the Supercoach season anyway. What are you laughing at? Anyway, so very not good. Oh, bloody hell. Might be just fielding 22 this week, and that's including like 3 rookies. Not good at all. Alright, moving on. So we've got Caleb Daniel with a 91. Yeah, that's fine. Jack McRae, for some reason, he only had about 60% time on ground. Is he injured or something? I don't know. 78. Had him in a multi to get 20 touches. Yeah, he only got 17. Petrarca, 85. Could have been better as well. Butler Simpson didn't play. Now, Shai Bolton. Very disappointed. Not at you, Shai Bolton, because I should have known. You already scored a 5 in a full game this year. So, 34, which didn't even count to my score. I could have picked anyone under 400k. Like, not just any forward, but any player under 400k. And I chose Shai Bolton. Oh, man. Never again. Never again going Shai Bolton. Anyway, so yeah, that's how the team did. We can't do any trades because we have no trades. We haven't had any trades for about 5 weeks. So let's have a look at some vice captain options. Okay, so who we got? Nick Dacos against Melbourne with the VC. I've got no Carlton players, I don't think. No, Chera was the only one, and he's injured. Zach Merritt, I'm hoping he comes back this week, but he probably gets tagged by, I don't know, whoever their tagger is, Giancotta, Lord, I don't know, one of them. So possibly a VC on Nick Dacos. Alright. They'll want to bounce back after that loss against Adelaide. The Adelaide Throws, apparently. Who else? North against Adelaide. I've only got one Adelaide player, and it's Isaac Rankin. Who else we got here? Richmond against Geelong. Okay. Don't think I can trust... Do I back Max Holmes to bounce back? Could I go Callum Mills against West Coast? Bont against Fremantle. I might just keep it on the Bont against Fremantle, I think. Yep. Bont against Fremantle. Spot in the finals, on the line. Yep, done. Bont will step up, I'm expecting. Alright, so we'll go with that. Okay, so... something else, just for something different, because it's not really too much to talk about in terms of trades or anything like that. I thought I would have a look at some players for next year. Just not like your premiums, like the ones that, the more obvious ones, but just some might be flying under the radar and just something to think about. All right, so starting off, we've got Josh Worrell. I actually had him in draft in a couple of my sides, and yeah, he's been doing pretty well for me. He's averaging 90.5, and these are estimated prices. So I got my little calculator out, and did like the magic number. These are just estimates. These could be slightly wrong, and obviously. Yeah, we might just round that up to like nearest 100. So let's just say, for example, Josh Worrell, he could be 448 and 500. And obviously, there's still one round to go, so these will slightly change. But the average will slightly change, but yeah, not so much. Anyway, so Josh Worrell, I've just been very impressed with him this year. He's done pretty well for me in draft. Can drop like a 70 or 80, but could he be a sneaky like D6 or something like that? But yeah, just one to think about. Daniel Curtin, well, a rookie that I definitely missed this year. Well, I think he was like 171k or something. He's made a whole heap of cash. Would he be midfield or mid-forward? I don't know if he keeps his forward status. But he's averaged 73.9, and that makes an estimated price of 366. 200, let's say. Alright, so yeah, he's got a pretty decent 3-5 round average as well, after being, I think he was the sub a couple of times at the start. Speaking of being the sub, Sid Draper. He's only played a few games, and I think nearly all of them have been the sub. Which means next year he should be about 128k. But he's got to break into that side, and at the moment, might be pretty tough to break into that side. Kitty Coleman. Now, he's only played the one game, and he scored a 72. So 72 average would mean he'd be 356k. But playing the one game, I reckon he'd get quite a bit of a discount. So he could be like sub 300k, but he is injury prone, as we've seen over the last couple of years, or probably throughout most of his career, unfortunately. But he's one that will definitely come in consideration next year for us as well. Jasper Fletcher, I've tried to... I've been very impressed with this guy. He's another one who's got a pretty decent 3-round, 5-round average. And if he 87.5 he is at the moment. Which prices him at 433k. Who knows? I'm not sure what Zorko is going to be doing next year. I'm not sure if he's contracted next year or not. But, say if he goes out, then I expect, Fletcher and even Wilmot, to maybe even... share even more of the load. Get a bigger share of the points. Speaking of Darcy Wilmot, 84.9, about 420k. All these guys, could be maybe a sneaky pod D6, maybe. Like, not saying these guys are absolute locks, but just people to think about. TDK, so I've got the asterisks here. Still don't know if he's going to be at Carlton or St Kilda. So averaged 97.9, 485k. Now, do we start the big boys again next year of Gawn, Cherry? Even Grundy's gone into the mix with his late form. Could you use a spot for one of your rucks for TDK, or do you use your flex like I did with TDK and put him into your flex position? If he's at Carlton, it would be a no for me, and if he goes to St Kilda, well, this depends on if Marshall goes as well. If Marshall goes, then he'd probably be a lock for me. Probably in that flex too, maybe. Not sure. Jagger Smith obviously didn't play this year. High draft pick, number 3, I think he was. He'll be 119k. So Jordan Goey. So I've tried to have someone from each club. DeGoey is a mid forward, averaging 55. Injury prone, but I couldn't think of any other. I went through the list and I couldn't think of any other Collingwood players. But, DeGoey is a forward, question mark. I'm not sure if he gets that forward status. At 273k, the forward line, this year we were blessed with a McRae and a Daniel taking up 2 of our spots because they were cheap. It's probably somewhere where we can, maybe take a risk because usually there aren't that many good forwards. All right, so just one that was on my list. Andrew McGrath. Now, as a defender, he's averaging 83.7. But the last few weeks, he's gone into the midfield. Okay, we've had Merritt missing, we've had Caldwell missing. But if somehow he can, next year, stay in that midfield role, like I think he scored like 150 or something on the weekend, just gone. Yes, against St Kilda, I know. But, he's got like a pretty good 3-round, 5-round average of, 100. 3-round average of about, I think it's like 120 something. So, just someone to think about. Cooper Simpson, now he's available as a forward this year. But, he'd probably be available as a defender next year, I'd say. Hasn't played many games, so, could he be, cheaper than this 204? But problem is, I think he's back playing and, he's not getting into the team at the moment. So, maybe that's not good signs. But, just one to think about. All right, so next I've got Sam Flanders. Could he be available as a mid-forward or even just a forward next year? Will he still be at the Gold Coast? Would he want to get a trade to another club to get more opportunity in the midfield? I don't know. Anyway, but 74.3, which would put him an estimated price of about 368. He'd one I'd consider. Brian Myers as a forward. I really like Brian Myers, 94.9. Once again, a forward. A spot where we might be able to take a few risks maybe next year, depending on who's on the forward lines. Same with Brent Daniels, it's an injury-affected year this year. 61.7. I know some people were having a look at him at the start of this year as a forward, but at 305k, he could be one that we're looking at. Now, Jarman Impey. I came across this guy against a couple of draft finals. And it just seemed like Hawthorn just wanted to get the ball into his hands. He's only averaging 85.5, but he has had a pretty strong second half to the year, I'm pretty sure. So that would price him at the moment at about 424k. Just one to think about. Here's one that I probably wouldn't go. Clary Oliver, 92.3, 457k next year. That's pretty much what he started at this year. Oh, geez, feels like a long time ago where I had Clayton Oliver, even though it was probably about 3 months ago. Anyway, LDU. Now, I actually put this together, these names, before Sunday's game. Oh, boy. he came and scored a 147 against Richmond, I know, but it just shows what he's capable of. 96.3 he's averaging at the moment, which would price him at 477k. All right. McKercher, now, be available as a defender or defender mid, I'm not sure, but definitely defender, I'm pretty sure. 83.3 is averaging, but he has a 3-round, 5-round average of over 100. All right, so the start of the year brings his price average down a bit, which means there could be a whole heap of upside. And I did not bring him into my side because I didn't trust Clarko to keep him in that defensive position. But 412, I'll probably start him. Definitely start him, I'd say. Port Adelaide, got Jordan Sweet. I couldn't think of any other names here. I just thought I'd put him in here because he's shown he is capable of going big, like when he scored that 200 against Hawthorn, and then he backed that up like with a 120-something score. So, one to keep an eye on, but could you give a ruck spot to him with Max Gawn, Cherry, Grundy, even your TDKs in there? I don't think so, but just thought I'd throw his name in there. 2 Richmond guys. So obviously they didn't play this year. They're going to be both going to be rookie priced, 119k. All right, so ones that we're definitely going to be looking at there. Smiley as a mid and Gibkiss as a defender. Hopefully they can get on the park. All right, so to finish off, we're on the last stretch here. Marcus Windhager. When he's not tagging, I think he can score quite well. He's got a 3-round average of over 100 as well. 82.8. That would price him at 410k. Max Hall, what a great rookie he's been this year. He scored 75.2 as an average this year. That would price him at 370k. Again, forward, maybe a place where we can have one of these pod risky sort of types. All right. Mateus Philippou should be mid-forward, or maybe even just a forward. I don't know. Apparently he played on the weekend. I didn't see him, or maybe once. But he's averaging 37.7. Now, we were considering starting him in our forward lines at 310k. So surely we're going to be looking at him at 186.8k. All right. So, he's one that will be very popular, I think. Another guy I've got my eye on, Arnold Sheldrick. Now, we were looking at him as well at the start of this year, but he's a lot of sub-affected games at the start of the year. But in the second half of the season, he's done pretty well for himself. He's made like 270k and, scoring hundreds. He is one that's, 337k. Bit like, mid-pricey, but, again, plenty of upside as long as he avoids that sub-vest. Adam Treloar, now, averaging 72, which would price him at 356k. Now, does Champion Data or, whoever, Code Sports or, Supercoach, do they actually price him at 356k? Or do they do like they did with Bailey Smith this year? Because Bailey Smith probably should have been even cheaper this year, I reckon. But, he's one to consider if he can get himself on the park. Just with these injury-prone guys, I probably wouldn't... You probably want to start them rather than trading them in, because if they get injured again, then you have to trade them out, and you will be using 2 trades. So one to consider. Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Now, he's priced at 355k this year. Obviously didn't play. But... if whether he's at the Bulldogs next year or if he's somewhere else, hopefully he can, get his career back on track because he is a great talent. He's 355k. So if he gets, say, a 50% discount, that should be like, 180, 75-ish k or so. He's probably one that, you would pick or definitely consider anyway. It just depends if he can, get his career back on track, get his life back on track. Hopefully, he's all good there. Definitely one to look at next year. If he's even on a list, who knows? Tom McCarthy as a defender, 94.4 average at 467k. Could we actually pick him as a starting pick next year. He is West Coast's highest averaging player. Like, I know he's only been on the list for half the year, but I've been very impressed with him. So one to look at. And finally, another injury-prone player, Elliot Yeo. Hasn't played this year. I think he's got about a 560k price tag. So, maybe if he gets half-price discounts, he could be like, 290 or so, sub 300. Again, someone who I would, want to start with. But you don't want, then again, you don't want to start with too many of these, injury-prone type players. But, if you can, start him at say 290k, like plenty of upside there. But yeah, anyway. All right, so that is it for that. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if there's any other players for next year that you would consider that's sort of gone under the radar. And I will see you in the round 24 vice captain video. All right, thanks. Bye.